Hey, this is Staci with Strangers Stopping Strangers. Thank you for joining. Today is our 5th podcast. For everyone who's returning, thank you for coming back and listening some more. And to anyone who's new, thanks for checking us out. So it's been just another crazy busy week. Made it up to Saratoga Springs to see the Deadhead Company this past Tuesday. And I mean, it just could not have been more fun. It was a long, crazy night. And it ended with a double encore, and everything in the middle was awesome too. Just great songs, great energy, so much fun. Everyone was having such a good time. So for everyone who's out there catching their local tours or on tour, just have so much fun, enjoy every minute of it. And then I know I am really looking forward to Fenway, so that'll be the next on my docket. So today's podcast, I'm having a conversation with a new friend again, and he is a friend I met through this crazy social media world we're living in, which is just really blowing my mind how many cool deadheads I've connected with in this rather new way of meeting one another. And we had so much fun on the conversation. So it's going to span from the mid-'80s, where his story goes, and on to this past week in Saratoga Springs and beyond. So please enjoy our conversation and some fun music, and thank you for tuning in.
Yes, thank you for joining Strangers Stopping Strangers.
Oh, my pleasure. Good to talk to you, Staci.
So fun to have a new friend that we still haven't met in person, but, right?
We were
Facebook,
close.
internet.
We were very close yesterday to meeting in person, but we were in the same spiritual place.
Absolutely. And the same spiritual place that once you're at a show, nothing else matters except for just experiencing that experience. Everything else is peripheral, and you'll catch it later.
Yeah, but what a great time. It's great to join your podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you. I'm excited to have you on the podcast. I think you were actually the first person I'm having on the podcast that I don't consider a stranger, but I've never met in person.
Yeah.
So you are the first person I have not actually met face-to-face. So welcome.
All right,
Very
I'm
cool.
honored.
So let's start at the beginning. I want to hear about your story. Start at the beginning about, your first show, what got you on the bus.
Yeah, for sure. So, I was like most, I think, fans, always a big music guy. Grew up with a lot of music, but, in high school I was pretty much into metal and a bunch of things that I don't really listen to much now. But I did have a couple of Dead records. I had a Working Man's Dead and American Beauty, and I loved them, but I didn't really play them that much, but I liked them. And then when I was a senior in high school, a bunch of guys were going to the Dead in Hartford where I was living, and I went kind of just for the heck of it. I heard they were fun shows. I used some songs, had no idea what to expect, obviously, and it was April 4th, '86, Friday night show.
Yeah.
Right after school. And, it was a big deal. It was beyond a big deal. It was, the first part of the show, wasn't as big as kind of that developed, but it definitely got me on the bus real fast.
That is awesome. Well, yeah, I mean, it's an experience beyond description. I was thinking, when we were at the Deadhead Company show last night, it's like this circus for everyone. It's the ultimate circus, the ultimate party that comes to town, and you can't describe it until you experience it. The first time is just it's monumental. Yeah,
I mean, obviously, you're seeing all these people that are just getting different things out of the experience. And I'd never, I was 18 years old. I'd never seen, as you said, this kind of circus environment. And I was partying and I was having fun. And, I knew songs off Working Man's Dead, and they played a couple early. They played, I think, like Dire Wolf. They played a couple songs I knew. But it was when I, started hearing songs that I'd never heard before that I was just blown away at what I was listening to. I'd never heard music played like that before. And I think for every fan, all that circus stuff is amazing, but it's the music that brings us all back to it.
Oh, absolutely. Well, the song that I pulled for you from that show is The Greatest Story Ever Told. So I am going to play that for our listeners from your first experience, your takeaway song, which, I mean, is such a fun party dancing song. So much fun. So I'm going to play Greatest Story Ever Told, and this is from the Hartford Civic Center, April 4th, 1986. Let's hear it. Welcome back from Greatest Story Ever Told. I hope everybody is dancing around and tapping their feet and doing some drums, right?
Yeah, that song, every time I hear it, I think I turn back to 18 because I didn't, you know, I never danced at concerts and I didn't know this was the kind of music they played. And that song just got me dancing and got me excited. It was just so layered and lyrical and fun and I just absolutely was hooked. So what a great song that you picked for this.
Awesome. Well, you know, what I want to talk about next is, you know, there's been a bit of a renaissance, and you and I have talked about our own personal renaissance in the last year and a half or so, like coming back. But, you know, the Dead and Company, a lot of naysayers with, you know, John on board and what's going to happen. But you and I, from our conversations, I mean, we're all in. Yes?
All in. I was all in pretty quick. I mean, you know, obviously the Fare Thee Well was a great experience, and it kind of, I think it reawakened a lot of folks, certainly my age, to how much, you know, we love the Dead, and it was just so incredible to see that many people, particularly younger people, that were into it. So when they announced they were going to keep playing with a new lineup in this guy, John Mayer, I had no idea. I didn't know anything about John Mayer other than seeing him, you know, on television. But I was, you know, cautiously optimistic, and pretty much from the get-go, I've been in on this. I enjoyed the Worcester show last fall. And, but what they're doing now, I mean, two elements of it. The way he plays, I no longer really think about this as like a Dead cover band. Fare Thee Well was wonderful, and Trey was wonderful, but that was felt like more of an homage to Jerry and the whole scene. What they're doing now, they're playing their own music now, the Dead and Company lineup, and now they've got a good 25 shows or so under their belt. And you know firsthand, Staci, from last night's show at Saratoga, which was incredible. The music's so great, but what really gets me is just, I was in the pit, and I would guess about a third of the people around me were under 25. And
absolutely.
Yeah,
now, is that different than Fare Thee Well? I would guess Fare Thee Well was the more older people getting their tickets, you know, kind of a sign-off.
It was like a big family reunion.
Yeah.
But this... And what got me was not only how many young people were there, which is super, but they knew the songs. I mean, they knew everything that these guys were doing. They knew Estimated, they knew Cassidy, they knew Broke Down. They everything they played. All the young people there were jamming with it. And look, none of them saw Jerry. There's no possible way they could have. So the only way they know these songs is to hear the same tapes that you and I listen to. And I got into taping and listening to concerts because I went to see them. They're into it just from the music alone, and I just think it's incredible. And it speaks to what the Grateful Dead are, which is like the Beatles, like John Coltrane, like Mozart. You know, this stuff is timeless, and for another generation of people to jump onto it and to fuel what's going on with Dead and Company, I just could not be happier.
I couldn't agree with you more. I saw Worcester and North Carolina and Civic Center, and last night, it just keeps getting better and better. I mean, Johnny Be Good. I mean, you know, that's the homage. Johnny is good. Johnny is beating it down. Johnny is good. Johnny Be Good. I know, double encore. It was so good. It was amazing.
I mean, Good Lovin' is just not one of my favorite Dead songs. It's just not. I don't love it. It's okay for me. And that was the best Good Lovin' I think I ever heard. I was dancing the whole time. I was like, these guys they're killing it. They're absolutely killing it.
Well, I'm gonna throw out two things where we're talking about John and Dead and Company, and then we're gonna play a song. And this is a first for Strangers Stopping Strangers. It's all been Grateful Dead, but we're gonna bring it up to the moment with our next song selection. But I'm gonna mention two things that for any listeners that I think are really interesting that you probably have heard. But two interviews with Bobby. One was that Jerry was his big brother. You know, he was 8, 9 years younger. Jerry was his big brother, but John is like his son. And I think for the family and like being a parent and future generations, and I know you're a dad, like yep. There's something that's just really like kind of special in life and transcends with that. And I don't know if you know this, but John was born on Bobby's 30th birthday. Do you know they share the same birthday?
I had no idea until you just told me that. That's so great.
They have, they're 30 years apart. John was born on Bobby's 30th birthday. I don't know the date offhand, but you can Google it, listeners. But, they are 30 years to the day. They share the same birthday. So, I'm curious,
did the Dead play that day?
Well, you know what? Why don't we look it up, and then we will, we'll come back to it. You look it up we'll come back to it, but we're going to play. So I'm going to play Brown Eyed Women, and this is from Cincinnati Riverbend. You and I, unfortunately, were not there, but you picked this because it's killer. And then we heard it again last night. So it's in the rotation, needs to be in the rotation, and is awesome. So I'm playing Brown Eyed Women from Dead and Company, Cincinnati Riverbend, just last week, June 16th, 2016. Enjoy.
Fall down. You take up the yoke and cloud the fields around. Gone are the days when the ladies said please. Gentle Jack Jones, won't you come to me? Brown-eyed women in red dreams. Bottom was dusty, but the liquor was clear. Sound of the thunder with the rain.
great? How great is that? How great is that version?
It's
soulful and just this little touch of reggae, and it's groovy and it swings and it's a little slower. And when I heard that, because I heard the Cincinnati show, I wasn't there. And when I heard Brown Eyed Women, I was like, well, it was a good example of just they're really letting John just do his thing now and bring his voice and be an author of this experience along with everybody else. And the room they're giving him, which he's clearly earned, and what he's doing with his interpretations of some of these songs. I mean, I've never heard Brown Eyed Women play like that. And what's so funny is that you and I just heard it last night at Saratoga, played incredibly up-tempo. Totally different and like a machine gun. I mean, you were just, jumping around and dancing, and it was like on fire. So to see the role that John has in the band now, it just, I'm really looking forward to the next shows. I'm going to Fenway and Shoreline, and I wish Fenway was tonight, because I just want to keep this
I know.
going.
It's an addiction, no doubt. It is an addiction. And, last thing I'll say on John, and we'll get to our last topic, is, I was listening to him sing last night, so this was my takeaway. I don't know what you think about this. I feel like what he has in common with Jerry is he has a gravelly voice, but what he has that's the opposite is his cadence goes high instead of low. So it's, there's like a high cadence to his voice, but he has the gravel that goes with it. So he kind of takes it to like in a different direction, but with like that same gravel, soulful thing. Yeah,
that's really, I think your point, I think you nailed it. I mean, when he sang last night, Here Comes Sunshine, which I know is such a big favorite song of yours, and a real old one, he has this depth of this like deeper voice, but then he gets super high with it, and it was incredible. He's an incredible singer.
Yeah, just a whole different twist. Yeah, it's super fun. All right, well, I'm gonna go back to, we're gonna go, this is a question I've asked over and over. So in this podcast, this is the fifth one in, but I want to have some songs, I want to have questions that are regulars, because I think it's fun for interviews to ask different people the same question. So that way you get, a little taste of what everyone has to say on the same topic. And with you, I wanted to bring it back, because some people think this is dark. And you and I are both members of the Jewish tribe. I think it's such a Jewish question because we're always planning our parties, our bat mitzvahs, our weddings, and our funerals. So, what's the food? Who's going to be there?
Right.
Who's going to speak? And for us, what's the music? I mean, it's got to be a good party. This is it. You're saying goodbye, like Jews have to have it all nailed down. The wine, the food, the liquor, the songs, it's every celebration needs to be nailed down. So it's your funeral, your family, your friends, they're picking out, they're thinking about Jeff Hoffman. What's the song you go out with? What's the song you want played?
I took your question really seriously because I didn't have a quick answer, and I was like, am I going with my favorite Dead songs, or do I want it to be reflect on my life? And I was thinking about Jack Straw, such a great song. I was thinking about Fire, but I ultimately picked U.S. Blues, which probably sounds bizarre as a funeral dirge, but it absolutely is the right song for me to play at my funeral. It's a celebration of so many different things that I love about the Dead, and ultimately what I love about my experience on this planet. Right? The songs are reverent, but it's also really a celebration of this country in a really unusual way. It's funny, it's jazzy, it's impossible to be in a bad mood when that song is on. Impossible.
Absolutely.
When they encore U.S. Blues, the entire place erupts. And I love that. We all sing along to it. And it's kind of like, I think if you're our generation, it's our national anthem. It's always been my national anthem. And I just think it's just a celebration song. And that's 100% the one I want playing.
That is awesome. And it goes back to the beginning of this conversation when I say you're at the circus. I mean, where else can you go and see somebody grooving by with an Uncle Sam hat and not bat an eye? Like, you expect it. You expect somebody to come walking, dancing down the road with an Uncle Sam hat on, and it's just like, of course he's wearing an Uncle Sam hat, That's normal.
Nothing kind of fit. What's so great about last night, we're outside at Saratoga, this incredible venue. It's a beautiful summer night. It's a perfect summer night. And when you think about July 4th and you think about the summer and the Dead, I mean, nothing kind of brings all that together more than that song. And you're right, you can really just get freaky and just be the freak you are.
Well, we are freaks. You know, when you get older, I read something from somebody who wrote something in the New York Times about things you learn after 40, and it says that after 40, you start looking for your kind of people, you know, and I think that speaks to you and I connecting on Facebook randomly. Like, you stop trying to you look for your people, whoever your people are, like, you know, like you find your people. And, yeah, it's a really neat article, and I would reference it, but I can't think of it right now. But yeah, no, the freaks, the people, the kindness, the U.S. blues, it sums it up, and it's just colorful and fun, and everybody will be like, just jamming out the door at your funeral, ready to go eat some lox and bagels and, you know, drink some booze and toast your life.
So what U.S. blues did you pick? Because there's so many good ones.
All right, so in the summer venue, it's not July 4th, but it's July 13th in Ventura, California, 1985. So
great.
That to me was, you know, outside California, mid-80s, July, like it's on, they're dancing, and it's, you know, it's on.
Perfect.
It's on. So, all right, so let's go into that. Everybody enjoy. say goodbye. We've got 3 amazing songs, and this was so much fun. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome, and thank you for inviting me on. I love the podcast, and it is a great way to kind of, nothing tells a story better than a little bit of color around some of these songs with so many of us that love the Dead for so many different reasons all over the world.
Well, I'm thinking of it as like people's digital scrapbooks. Right? Putting together a digital scrapbook. So it's a scrapbook of your life, and I can't wait to meet you in Fenway. We're going to be there for 2 days, so we will connect next time.
Without a doubt, we'll see each other in a few weeks in Boston. Perfect.
Sounds good. Well, thank you for joining, and listeners, thank you for returning, and I will be back next week for the next podcast. So enjoy the last week of June, beginning of July.
For 2. Sky was yellow and the sun was blue. Strangers stopping strangers just to shake